Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So today we are going to be talking about a very beautiful succulent called as Echeveria Neon Breaker. Now the leaves are looking a little different. It's because there's not much light. So usually when the plant tends to get mature or when it does not get the correct amount of light, the leaves also tend to change. Now it doesn't even look close to a neon breaker, but it is a neon breaker. As I've said this earlier as well, the succulents tend to change a lot as per the environment, as per the lighting, as per the watering and the type of container you're using. It all matters a lot, and it contributes towards the growth of your succulent. Whether it's going to be good or bad, it depends upon your care and your environment, of course. So this is how the Echeveria Neon Breaker looks like. It is turned out to be a little bigger. When I got it, it was quite small. But right now the leaves are very open because, as you know, it has been raining. There is a lot of moisture in the air, so the leaves are wide open. Apart from that, it's a very easy to grow succulent. So if you are a beginner, if you're just starting off with succulents, you can definitely add this in your collection. But there are certain things you need to keep in mind. Now the first and the most important thing, the soil, it has to be loose, porous and well draining. Water only when the soil is completely bone dry. Now when you tend to see that your soil is completely bone dry, then go ahead and do a complete watering until the water starts passing through the drain hole. So that is called as complete watering. When you tend to see that your soil is completely bone dry, do not just water on the upper layer of soil. That is not going to be enough. You need to do a complete watering. With that, your succulent will not get dehydrated and there won't be any wrinkles on the leaves. But you have to remember that the soil has to be bone dry in order to do a complete watering. Pest attack. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. This plant does get affected with pest quite often. Just like how our black prince or any other succulents which are slightly called as the pest magnet. So this succulent also tends to get affected with mealybugs. Now it's not only limited to mealybugs, it often gets affected with powdery mildew as well, because it belongs to the variety of Echeveria saviana, which all the varieties of saviana, I felt that they are very prone to powdery mildew. So this could be one issue with your neon breaker. So ensure that you do not use too much of organic matter. At the moment you see that the mildew is starting to form on your succulent, immediately start to get into action and use whatever organic solution you have, or you can just sprinkle some dry cinnamon powder. If you feel that a particular leaf has been affected with powdery mildew a lot, then immediately cut it off or pluck it out from the succulent and discard it far away from your succulent garden. Because powdery mildew can spread very quickly, not only to the same plant but on the other plants as well. So you have to be extremely careful whenever you tend to see powdery mildew. So that's why always do a routine check once a week or once in 2 weeks. And as a precaution, probably once in 3 weeks or once in 4 weeks, you can sprinkle some dry cinnamon powder on the soil just to prevent any kind of mold or fungus attack. Apart from that, these are the only issues with this succulent. Otherwise, the succulent is very easy to grow. If you are a beginner, you can definitely add in your collection. Talking about light, light is something that is very important for our neon breaker. You have to give it a good amount of light, either morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours after acclimating it, or you can keep it in indirect bright light, but the light has to be really bright. But if you belong to a place wherein the temperatures are extreme during summers or during winters, so then you can move it indoors and grow it, provided you have a good quality of grow light. Propagation is very simple. You can do a leaf propagation. You can even separate the offsets. They tend to put out a lot of offsets, so you can even separate them. I'm not quite sure, but I see there is some growth on the crown area. Most probably it will be a bloom. So that's how it is, because it's in its growing season right now. It's supposed to be summers, but it's raining, but it's supposed to be summer, so it's in its growing period. So this is the time. If you want to add any liquid based fertilizer, you can do so, but do not add too much of it. As I said, this plant is a magnet towards powdery mildew, so you have to ensure that the organic matter is very minimum or very lean nutrient soil. Do not add too much of fertilizers. I do not add any fertilizers, so you can see the plant will still do quite well even if you do not add any fertilizers. So apart from that, it's a pretty simple to grow succulent. Only ensure that the soil is loose, porous and well draining. It gets a good amount of light, either direct or indirect sunlight, but do not expose it to afternoon direct sunlight, otherwise the leaves will get burned. So before I end this video, I wanted to share something important with you guys. You guys have showed so much of support and love for this channel. I have another channel as well, which is called as Lush Foliage, wherein I talk about a lot of foliage plants. So if you guys can also help me grow my second channel, it will be great. So if you're into foliage plants as well, then do check out the link in the description below. Now, as this channel is very small, it requires your support and love. Now this channel, because it's based on plants, it requires a particular kind of fertilizer, which is called as the subscribe fertilizer. All you have to do is just click on that subscribe button. That will work like a fertilizer and it will help my plant channel grow bigger. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.